Leia's all like, I'm gonna master the Noghri culture and become the best Noghri there is, and they're gonna follow me.
It kind of plays off our running joke with her about how she knows nothing of alien cultures.
Learns a little bit. Oh man, I'm so changed from just this little bit of knowledge that you've imparted on me.
I backpacked through Europe last month.
What? I just got that.
Hello there. You found the Lost Holocron, an ancient artifact of lore and legends from a galaxy far, far away. Each transmission of the Lost Holocron, you will join an episodic discussion of media from a Star Wars universe. We will be your guides, and I'm joined by my esteemed colleagues, Tim.
Hi. Oh my god, I'm esteemed.
Kyle.
Does that mean I'm hot air, or what's this mean again?
Means you're very steamy, Kyle. And
Ooh.
Scott.
You know, just because I come from a broken home doesn't mean I'm housebroken.
And I shouldn't forget myself, Stuart. We'll be covering the material up to and including Chapter 12 of Dark Force Rising. Tim, what happened so far?
So far, Leia Organa Solo has been targeted by the Empire for abduction. She and Chewbacca thwart an abduction attempt on Kashyyyk, capturing Noghri operative Khabarakh. In the subsequent interrogation, Khabarakh tells of how Lord Vader brought hope to the Noghri people, whose world became collateral damage after a ferocious space battle. Leaning on that reverence, Leia negotiates an embassy to Honoghr. However, when they arrive, they find Imperial presence coercing the importance of their mission to capture Leia. They touch down in Clan Kihm'bar, but the irregularity draws Imperial interest. Quick thinking and honor-bound by Khabarakh's oath of protection, Leia and Chewbacca are hidden away in the village as Thrawn inspects the late-returning operative. Scott, what happened in this chapter?
Chapter 12. Leia wakes up on Honoghr, directed to the Duca by some Noghri children. She learns from Clan Kihm'bar's Mitrak more of the Noghri, their history, and their indentured servitude with the Empire. The Mitrak implores Leia to leave until such time that the Noghri would not be trading one over clan for another. Leia agrees, but as she does, they are alerted to an approaching Imperial ship. I liked kind of learning about how basically like the Republic fucked everything up.
Yeah, I liked this. I liked the history lesson here. I liked learning about the culture.
Yeah, I liked the way that the Mitrak kind of described it as like the gods battling up in the sky.
Oh, yeah, that was a really good description.
That was really good. I liked how one particular line she said, the lightning was their anger, but the crash was their warhammer or something, like when the ship came crashing down.
Yeah. And they were so angry that they couldn't hear the lightning because, it's happening outside of the planet. And so they're so ferocious at each other, but they wouldn't even raise their voice.
Yeah.
There's no thunder.
Yeah.
Right.
That's such a good description.
Yeah. And then like before they knew it, like the top of their tallest mountain was just like gone.
Yeah.
And the fact that the rebellion was using older ships because that's all they could do, but it caused so much pollution.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, it's like us, when our old cars were a lot dirtier and polluted. Kind of makes me think of that.
Yeah. So the Empire uses electric starships.
And ion drives.
Yeah.
And the Republic uses ships that have apparently world-destroying acid or something.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Battery acid.
Yeah. This chapter really made me think of the part in KOTOR where you learn about the Sand People history.
Oh, yeah?
Is that 1 or 2?
In KOTOR 1.
In KOTOR 1. You want to eliminate the people who have either not played the game or forgotten about what happens at that point?
I've done both.
Yeah. You go to the Sand People, you eventually gain their trust, and then you eventually gain their trust so much that you're like, I want to learn the history of your people. And they're like, okay, come to the storyteller. And the storyteller tells you their history, and it's spoken of pretty similarly. like that same kind of like more primitive language. Like once new technology comes in, it's described with like that same kind of like thunder and lightning kind of language. Yeah, just hearing about the history of a people and how they came to be where they are, just like presented that cleanly, is that's the same vibe I got.
Don't you get like a similar story retold later in the game as well when you ask the
Rakata,
about their like experience, and they also, despite being,
but with much more brevity.
yeah.
So I read a little bit ahead on Honoghr on Wikipedia, and
oh no.
Oh no!
What are you going to say, Scott?
No, I'm just going to say. So Honoghr was actually part of the Rakatan Empire at one time.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's not like, it's not about the book. I'm not going to reveal anything about the book, but
yeah,
because believe you me, that's in there.
yeah, they left a temple on there, and like that was like an absolute like totally sacred site to the Noghri. I just thought that was cool. Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
All right, we gotta investigate this.
Is there a star map there?
I wouldn't investigate too much because I think there's a spoiler.
There's a lot of spoilers for this book.
But I'm like, oh damn it! You know, it's like, man, now I wish I hadn't read ahead.
Well, Scott, it's now your chosen role to be the one that knows.
It's been my chosen role for a while.
Yeah,
the lore keeper.
The lore keeper.
If anybody finds a spoiler, it's going to be me.
He didn't choose this role; it was thrust upon him by destiny.
Yeah.
I'm still so curious about the one that Kyle found for Leia's lightsaber, because I think I know what's coming.
I'm so mad
but I also
about
don't
it.
want to ask it in terms that are going to reveal even more maddening things if it's not the thing that I'm thinking of.
Does the color have plot importance?
No.
What color is it? It's very important.
Oh, I don't remember. But now that I know the spoilers, I'm immune to the poison gas that is that area, so I can go in there.
Yay!
He's been vaccinated, guys.
Yeah.
And you're reminded to get your shots.
Yes. Yeah.
And spayed and neutered.
Which, while we're speaking of Leia's lightsaber, I thought it was kind of interesting that Leia mentions how, which one are we talking about? Khabarakh seemed to be relieved to see her weapon, almost as like pride of place, reminding them of Vader, possibly.
That's a good detail.
Because when she changes clothes, she's like very prominently puts it on her attire so that it has that kind of ceremonial importance.
What did I miss?
Kyle's going to the Badlands.
Yeah.
So when Leia makes it, it's blue.
Yeah.
She makes it. Okay.
Team blue.
Oh, she makes her own. Apparently.
But what about the one that Luke makes for her?
Yeah.
Oh, this is the one. Oh, right. Luke made this.
Yeah, Luke made this one.
Do you want to know that information?
You know what? Don't they say it in like at the top of it? You feel like it does? Well, then that's mystery baiting. Fuck you, Timothy Zahn. The characters know what color it is. We should know it too.
Right.
Or do they?
What do you mean?
Maybe it's an invisible blade.
Unless you...
let me see if I can find out if there's a reason why.
Unless you're force sensitive, you can't tell what color the lightsaber is.
What? Oh, Stuart, you and your theory.
That'd be crazy. Because, like, if you can't see a lightsaber blade because you're not force sensitive, then they could just, like, swing it at you and you have no idea.
No, you can see the blade. You just can't see the color.
Okay.
It's a flash of lightning, right? It's the lightning of it, and it's the afterglow, the backlight. What do they call it? The splash light backing.
The backlight glow, something, I don't know. Yeah.
I went into the Badlands. I have some spoiler antibodies now. It's blue.
I have infected Tim.
Yeah. It's a blue lightsaber because Leia has great taste.
Yeah, blade color blue, pale blue.
And that's probably the only kyber crystal they could get at the time.
Yeah. All right. Shall we continue on?
I'm satisfied.
All right.
Let's go.
So, onward with the Book of Boba Fett.
Right.
I wonder if Leia has been what's the best way to put this? Wrapped up or entangled with the most disgruntled of the Noghri clans, because surely there's some like hierarchy here. They're like, it's all about honor, right? Their society, so there's going to be a very rigid hierarchy of clans with more honor, clans with less honor. Yeah, so she's. Do you think that like she is at the tail end of like, you know, is she with the 20% or is she with the 80% of?
She's with the riffraff.
She's with the riffraff clearly, but like, is
Yeah.
that a good litmus test for how the Noghri as a whole feel, or most? I mean, it's not from the way that it looks like it's it's a pretty bad deal that the Noghri have been cut by the Empire, but like. Maybe most of them are like, you know what, this is actually pretty good. Like they said, they wouldn't have enough food to feed all of their people if they came home. So,
yeah, I got a very diplomatic impression from the Matriarch.
Yeah,
like
the part that they said, like, whether they want to travel among the stars, even if there hadn't been a thing, if Vader had offered them, a chance to be among the stars, that they would have gone. I would go with Vader to check out those stars.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, she was just like, "Hey, can you blame us?" And it was like, "Honestly, no, I can't."
No.
Yeah, you guys got a raw deal. And it's currently your best option, and I would be destabilizing that. Which I actually appreciated seeing that in Leia, because I've always seen her as being very fiery and good guy rebels no matter what. And so it's interesting to see some more nuance to her perspective on this.
It kind of also shows that like she didn't really go in with a plan. She thought she would just go in and be like, I'm the liberator of the people.
Yeah.
Clearly, black and white thinking of like, they're bad and it's going to be obvious that they're going to want to join us. But then seeing the nuance of the situation is a little bit, oh man, why did I come here again? And so I went back to reread chapter 25 of the last book to like really understand why she chose to go that way. And so
she wanted her white savior narrative.
Quite possibly. But yeah, rereading that interrogation, it was really good. Like they get to the point that Leia's talking with Khabarakh about what's changed since Vader handed off command to Thrawn and said, well, Vader never lied to us. He was always so good to the Noghri people. And well, you're still satisfied under this new leadership? And he was like, yes. And she's like, well, have they ever lied to you? And they're like, I don't really want to answer that question. It's like, well, you know the answer because they didn't tell you that who you were sent to kidnap. Like, I am the Malariush. And so that part of her identity was hidden from them. And he was like, yeah, you know what? And then like he goes to take his suicide pill, which apparently he had like some palm thing to clap and do something, which I totally missed. We didn't talk about the last time, but she says something about too. Like,
yeah, I don't remember
like,
that.
You're supposed to live through this and take this knowledge back to your people. Like they don't know about this, so it's very important that you stay alive. And so and it says that he froze in this position of like about to like having his hands together to clap to obviously trigger something. And he was like, oh, you know what? There's a legend that Vader could read the hearts of the Noghri, and that's part of the reason why because like with this force sensitivity and whatnot, that they didn't understand. But then he was like, oh, you know what? You really are the Malariush, so maybe I do need to take your message back to my people. And so it's not really a well thought out thing. It's just like part of that sense of justice or sense of honor or sense of whatever, that both of them are taking this kind of leap of faith and then coming back here and like, well, you know what? idealism is great, but we need some practicality in our situation. And like, yeah, you know what? Maybe we'll come back when the Republic actually has the funds to help you guys, and you're not going to be, trading one debt for another.
Yeah. I like the side quest.
Yeah.
God, that is such an interesting interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had more appreciation for it coming back to it after this, because like you do see how it is a big leap of faith between both sides, and I think that came out a little bit more thoroughly on the reread.
Yeah, with how Thrawn was acting at the end of this chapter to the Noghri, it really feels like he has gotten whatever use he can from these people, and doesn't really care what they think about him anymore.
Yeah.
The end of the last one, you mean? When he's like, we're going to go have a show of force and let them pray that I don't change my mind, that it's not going to be end in any destruction?
Yeah.
This one, they finished the chapter with their inkbound, and they're probably going to go hide in the pot house again. The Grover.
Yeah.
Interesting. Fascinating. I'm very excited for the next chapters. Next 2 chapters, can't wait.
Apparently I'm infecting Kyle too now.
Oh my god. Yeah. I like the arc that happens in this chapter of like there's this one moment I like where Leia starts talking to the matriarch towards the beginning of their conversation, and the matriarch is pointing out how C-3PO is telling the Noghri children like the story of Darth Vader and how he like overthrew the Emperor, and Leia responds, "Yes, it took until the end, but he was finally able to rid himself of the Emperor's web of deception." Like just a very subtle, not so subtle. They're the bad guys, you idiot.
She's very heavy-handed about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But then it ends with her being like, "Oh, yeah, I get it. I understand you guys." Yeah, she really came in there blazing, wanting her Jake Sully moment, learn the culture of the people.
Wait, who's Jake Sully?
From Avatar.
Oh yeah, I was like, I know that name. What's that from?
Jake Sully.
Sully.
Not
that
not the last Airbender.
Not the last Airbender.
Yeah, James Cameron's Avatar.
James Cameron's Avatar.
Leia's all like, I'm gonna master the Noghri culture and become the best Noghri there is, and they're gonna follow me.
It kind of plays off our running joke with her about how she knows nothing of alien cultures.
Yeah. It does. Yeah.
You know, maybe the aliens are the friends we made along the way. Yeah, she does have a little bit of that Saturday morning cartoon change of heart. Yeah, learns a little bit. Oh man, I'm so changed from just this little bit of knowledge that you've imparted on me.
Yeah.
I backpacked through Europe last month.
What? I just got that.
The description of all the cultural artifacts here, I don't know if it was also explained in the previous book, but definitely from Knights of the Old Republic, it gives very Wookiee feelings. And I know they've been purposely trying to like make that connection between the cultures, but like the way that there are carvings in the dukas and the bouts of respect, and even the celestial firmaments that they've got in the top of the duka, it really made me feel like we're looking at, I don't know, the other side of the coin of like Wookiee culture almost. Did you get that too, Tim?
No, I see the connection. What I'm struggling to understand is the difference between them.
The difference between the Wookiees and the
Noghri.
And the Noghri.
I don't know why it's not clicking in my brain. because they both have honor-bound cultures.
Yeah, I saw a lot of parallels between the two of them.
But the Noghris don't really have life debts.
But they know what they are.
Yeah.
Mm.
I thought they said. I thought he said that they do have life debts.
They do?
They said they have something similar. Oh, it's similar to our own honor code, he said. They didn't say they have life debt specifically.
Right.
I mean, they're willing to throw wave after wave of their people to who they believe in. So,
in the name of honor.
I love every time we bring that line up.
what's on?
Just every time we say wave after wave of my own
Wave
men.
after wave of my own men.
Got him again.
Yeah. I guess the Noghri Code of Honor makes me think more Mandalorian than Wookiee. Because Wookiee seems to be about, like, pledging yourself to a specific person. And they have a community mindset. But I guess with Wookiee, the guideline is specific loyalty to one person. Whereas the Noghri gives me an impression of loyalty to an entity, but also like a code of honor of how to approach things, like a set of moral guidelines, or expected guidelines of behavior, so to speak.
Actually, I'd like to expand on what you just said to say that the Wookiees are more individualist in their code of honor.
Yeah.
It's the one warrior that they're going to follow, whereas you indebt yourself to somebody who has behaved honorably and will, and earns that, and it's kind of like a chain, whereas the Noghri seem more like a web. They're more socialist about their honor system, like for the greater good kind of. Well, we are sending our sons off to go die among the stars, but it does serve the greater good of all the people that we manage to save our sacred lands. And
more collectivist.
Well, then also she was saying something like how sacred the stars are to them. So sending their sons to go off to die among the stars is kind of like I guess it's kind of like an honorable, I don't know, honorable end for them, I guess.
Yeah.
It was really
Wookiees don't
kind
seem
of
as interested in the stars.
Yeah.
But I mean, these are also pre-space flight culture that have been granted space flight.
That's true.
Imagine if the gods came down and were like, okay, you can, come explore the universe with us, but also you're going to have to kind of fight some bad guys. Are you guys cool with that? And like, I'm going to the stars. Cool. Let's do that. Who do I have to kill?
Yeah.
Which is the pointy end of the stick, and let's go.
Yeah.
Whereas the Wookiees are, Scott, you said you're not housebroken. Like the Wookiees are definitely space broken.
Yeah.
They take space for granted now.
They do. Yeah.
They're very space rich.
The Wookiees and their space privilege. I'm curious to see where this is gonna go. This seems like a little bit of a repeat of last time when they first got in, and then the Thrawn comes in, says, "Okay, well, where have you been? All right, thanks for the report. I'm going to leave now." And now he's coming back again on this.
Yeah.
Like, this is the next day, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So,
Right.
I mean, Leia hadn't spoken to them yet.
Yeah.
So it must be the next day. I wouldn't be sticking around 3 or 4 days before then actually going to speak to the matriarch and be like, okay, so, can we work something out here?
Yeah, right. She gets up and changes her clothes. That's right. So yeah, it has to be another day.
So yeah, I'm interested to see. Well, I'm wary about is something going to be different this time that Thrawn appears. I mean, they do have the suspicion that he was captured and interrogated, so they need to take him, know what he might have told the Wookiees.
You know, we definitely need something to happen this time. They can't get away scot-free again. This needs to be the consequence to the side quest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to drop that the spy bot down as well. They said they were going to put one of the decon droids.
Right,
put
yeah.
a Viper and a decon droid, which I don't know if we pointed out last time, but a Viper droid is the one that we see in Empire Strikes Back on Hoth. The black one, the black probe droid, those are called Vipers.
Yeah.
Is that?
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I love the noises that they make too.
Yeah.
I always wanted to get like a ringtone that was just
Okay. There's a part of the Thrawn asks if they have a certain kind of droid on the ship.
That was the previous chapter. Yeah. They asked if they had something that could spy on them.
Yeah. How does Thrawn not know that? He knows everything.
I mean, he probably doesn't have a complete inventory of what they've got on the... Because he knows that they might have them in the fleet, but not specifically on the Chimera.
I don't know. It seems like something he would know. But I don't know. I just thought that. I'm like, wait, what? How does he not know that?
I mean, he probably has a guy in charge of the inventory. And if that guy didn't know, then he would send Rook at him.
Rook to kill him. And then replace him with somebody who does know.
Yeah. Unless the guy was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry I fucked up. I'm going to change my system this way.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and then Thrawn would be like, all right, you're good. Yeah.
All right.
As long as you're willing to learn from Thrawn will let you live.
Yeah.
Yes.
How did you like this chapter compared to the last one? Because I feel like both of these chapters were a little bit, I don't want to say slow, but they were laying the groundwork for something. And so we get the backstory of the Noghri in this one. In the last one, we kind of got that introduction of Bel Ibis. Iblis. And Tim, you said there wasn't enough action in that one for you. And I know we kind of like talked about it a little bit and changed your mind a little bit, but like your first impression was a little bit like
I wanted to understand something about the faction, and that was kind of like my dissatisfaction with the last chapter. Because we've seen them a few times now, and it could just be my curiosity getting ahead of me. And I'm sure once we find out, it's very possible to be like, oh, that was the right point to drop that information. But I really liked this chapter because I liked learning about the Noghri, and I liked hearing it from someone who seems to think with a bit more complexity than the other Noghri we've seen before now, and seems to have like wisdom behind what she's saying.
I liked hearing the way that she depicted the battle almost from like a mythology standpoint.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
Yeah.
And the way she uses logic with Leia.
Yeah. Yeah. But I also, I definitely like this chapter better than the last chapter when we were first introduced to like Honoghr and the Malarouge. This one just felt like it was more, I don't know, just had a lot more going for it, more interesting with the story that she told. And I thought that was really cool.
Lore.
That we actually, yeah, it did. Yeah. And it had like, but not just lore, but actual concrete evidence of the story she was telling, because the mountain was destroyed and the earthquakes and the volcanoes went up and the rain came down and destroyed everything because of this, battle between the gods up in the heavens. To me, that was just really interesting.
Yeah. I think I also connected more with Leia's character arc in this chapter.
Yeah. I like how she didn't recontextualize the story as well, to be like, well, there was a space battle up there and it fell down like this, and it just caused a lot of environmental devastation, but kept that kind of mythological reading of the gods were like, we know that it's not true, but it felt like the gods were angry at us. It really felt like, once the gods of the sky were done with their arguments, that the gods of the land were also disgruntled or discordant, and that caused so much problem. And then the strange smelling rains, which we've been introduced to this idea before, that they're very sensitive. Their noses are sensitive in some way. They got described as like tracking hounds before, and the way that they identified Leia by scent, and the strange smelling rains were also quite. It was a nice touch that I felt.
I think another difference between this chapter and the last one is that the last one is a faction that we've kind of like just been introduced to, and we didn't really learn much about them. We just got like a first impression of the man behind them. Well, this one, we've been seeing the Noghri since maybe the first chapter of the first book. I forget if Rook showed up.
I thought he did.
Whenever he showed up. I mean, we've seen the Noghri for a while, and this chapter completely changed how I feel about them with the information that I learned from it. And so it feels more substantial.
I think I complimented the like expanding circle of knowledge that we have of the Noghri since the previous time. That they start out looking like assassins, and then they look like bloodhounds, and now they look like they just get more and more complexity to the same image over and over again.
Yeah,
I can see that happening here, whereas that didn't really happen for the last chapter. Like, yes, we got the introduction of this political character, but that didn't tell us anything about the motivations of the faction that we got introduced 3 or 4 chapters ago. So,
but all in due time.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on the chapter?
Anyone else have more to say?
I think these 2 chapters were a lot of setup, but I am looking forward to the next 2 chapters to see where it's all going.
Yeah, me too.
I really like how things keep developing in this book.
Yeah.
I know we're only 12 chapters in, but I would like to see, like, it feels like we haven't seen the smugglers forever. And I know it's, half of what we've read ago, which is probably quite long.
Yeah.
Really.
But it has been a bit.
Yeah. Would like to know what's going on with that, those nightmares and...
Right.
Right.
But on the other hand, like, how much do they really have to contribute? And then something that we said last time is like, they just seem to be there for the sake of reminding you that there are other plot lines in this book.
But,
yeah.
That's the trade-off to not having nothing burger chapters.
Yeah.
But I'm sure when they show up, it'll be worth it.
Are you, Tim? That didn't pan out last book.
I'm choosing hope this time. Don't let me down, Timothy Zahn.
We said it before, but like, this book has been peak. It's been real good. I agree. Really enjoying this one, and I'd be happy for any chapter that we come back to, any point of view.
Yeah.
Because are we going to get Sabaoth soon to meet Luke? Or
God, I want Joe Marks so badly. I want the flex off.
Or are we going to go back to winter?
See if she actually contributes something this time.
What is Winter doing? She's administrating while Leia's away.
Freezing. Huh.
Because she would have been a good person to bring with Luke to Jormark.
What is Winter doing?
Who knows? Maybe in later chapters, winter is coming.
Oh my god.
Maybe.
Anyway, it was nice talking to you guys.
All right. This has been the Lost Holocron. You can find transcripts, links to discussions, and more at our website, lostholocron.com. While you're there, you can learn how to support the creation of future episodes. Read on, and we'll be waiting for you in the next transmission. We would be honored if you would join us.